Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's me. I decided to do a overhaul of basically my car and just to kind of show like what all's done to it, what I'm planning on doing to it, and all that crap. I currently drive a 2013 Honda Accord Coupe. It's the LXS, so it's got the 4-cylinder, the K24W1, and it has a CVT at the moment. Probably won't be a manual for a while, but I'm also looking for a manual to maybe swap it out one day. I don't know, just whatever happens, but I'm gonna go over like all the stuff I've done to it, who tuned it, and kind of all that stuff. But for now, I'm gonna go over the exterior of the car, like all that crap, and then I'll move on to the engine stuff. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna start from the front of the car. Currently the bumper's messed up, but it's not a big deal. I'm doing some custom stuff with that. I'm looking at doing a custom sedan style MD front bumper for the front. Only reason why is because that one's cracked and I don't really like the HFP. I don't like that it doesn't have like a centerpiece. The MD style will cover the whole front lip and it'll look a lot better. I did a little chrome delete. I'm looking at redoing it with vinyl this time. Currently it's plasti dip. I don't really like it that much. But I got some projector fog lights for the fogs and they do a pretty good job there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 about them. I like the dark look, but since the headlights aren't dark, it looks a little weird. So I might switch back to the stocks. I don't know yet, but yeah, so I did projector fog lights. The car didn't come with fog lights since it's an LXS, so I had to do a wiring harness. I think I got the harness and button and all that stuff on eBay, but the harness itself is an H11 harness, so anything that's H11 LED or whatever will work. I have the Farron LED bulbs at the moment. It's got switchback turn signals, and that's kind of it for the front of the car. My lovely girlfriend got me a custom license plate of our anniversary, so we have that there, and I think it's kind of cool. But it's got 35% tint in the front, 5 all around. It's got a chrome delete for the door handle. It's got Power Stop Z23 brakes, I believe. I think they're carbon ceramic, so they're pretty good. They have a good bite. That's kind of it for the front. For the back of the car, I got some other stuff I got planned. Basically just a normal badge delete. The dealer sticker, I took that off. I didn't like it. I blacked out all the chrome right here, and then I also blacked out the reflector. I'm thinking about doing the LED reflector turn signal mod or whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 about it. But one thing I did that some people don't is I actually made that vent functional. It's a functional vent for the driver's side and the passenger side. Took me about 2 hours to drill it all out, but I mean, it probably didn't do anything. I hate fake vents, so I wanted to have functional vents in the back. You know, I don't like that fake stuff. So, but also you can kind of tell it's not a stock exhaust. It's the car is currently full bolt on. It's tuned by Ryan Nix, or if you want to look him up on Instagram, it's Nix Tuning OKC with underscores in between. I'll put it up on the screen in a second so you can see it, and I'll put it link to his profile in the description below. But yeah, so it's got the Megan Racing catback exhaust. It's a 2.5-inch pipe, comes with a resonator and a muffler. Obviously, that thing is massive. The tip is a 4-inch tip, and it sounds really good. You can actually see and hear how you can't see it. You can see it now, but you can hear a sound clip of it before and after the Catalyst downpipe on one of the shorts I uploaded. It's got stock taillights at the moment. I'm in the process of making custom clear taillights. A buddy of mine said he could 3D print stuff, but I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. So I'm probably just gonna order some acrylic and mold it to the lens. I got them in the back of the car, so I can show you guys that in a second. But yeah, so it's pretty much blacked out a little bit. I'm wanting to do different badges. I just haven't figured out what badge I want to do. Yeah, so that's kind of it for the outside of the car. I'm going to show the inside. There's not really much, but, you know, there's some stuff in there. Alrighty, now we're on the inside of the car. Pretty much everything is stock. Keep in mind, this is a 2013 and kind of the base model. It doesn't have the Apple CarPlay or the little LED screen. I don't like the LED screen because I had a buddy who had a 2017 Touring. CarPlay's crap on these cars. Literally, you can ask anyone. No one likes Honda CarPlay. It's kind of dog crap. So I'm happy I have the buttons. It doesn't bother me. I am wanting to switch it to a CarPlay screen, but you have to do a custom wiring harness so you can maintain the backup camera. And if your car has it, blind spot monitoring. Mine does not. So, but anyway, so this is the 2013. I'm gonna take these off. I don't really like it anymore. I don't want it to go off and literally make me turn into Iron Man. So I'm gonna take that off. I don't really like the chrome badging. It doesn't really fit the car anymore, I think. I mean, it's cool, but it just doesn't line up, and it just doesn't look cool, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I got the K-tuner unit right here. It's I got it on like those like a magnet vent mount at the moment. I'm wanting to do a custom pillar where it holds it right here. Focus. Where it kind of holds it right here, because like whenever I'm driving, I can't see all of the screen, and that kind of bugs me. But they make like these like little mounts that you can add it onto here. But again, you know, I can't see the whole screen, and I need to see it if I'm like, you know, I want to make sure everything's running right. So, you know, a little custom mount right here. I think that'd be kind of cool. What else? I did the 2016 to 2017 HVAC control swap. It's 100% plug and play. Since I didn't have the heated mirrors, I didn't have to find one with the heated mirrors, but I like it. It looks better than the crappy silver one that you get from Honda for the 9th gen, the 2013 to 15 model. The 16 to 17 one is, like I said, 100% plug and play. Whenever I was looking for one, I looked for one where the harness was clipped because I didn't want to risk any of the pins being damaged. I'll show an example later if I can find one. So yeah, and I got this fake carbon stuff. I just didn't want to scratch up the silver trim. I'm going to end up switching it out for probably real carbon one day, but I'm in college. I can't afford that crap. So, but yeah, so it's pretty much stock on the inside. Nothing really to show. Yeah, there's the fog light harness button. It's right there. You can see them turn on, and it lights up green. I don't really like that it lights up green, but I mean, it is what it is. No big deal. Let me show you guys the clears real quick. And the back seat is kind of a mess at the moment. I just got back into my apartment, but those are the clears. I haven't made a lens yet, but I trimmed away all the red, so it's 100% a clear. I'm also going to be switching to LEDs. So I'm gonna hit up DIY Car Mods and get their resistor harness, so I don't have to worry about any hyper flashing or anything. With a clear taillight, at least this one, I don't want any orange incandescent bulbs to show in there. I want it to be like a silver LED if I can find one, and just silver lighting that lights up the appropriate color. Granted, it may not be DOT approved, but I mean, it looks better than stock. I mean, I'll say that right now. Now, the 16 to 17 taillights, I think, do look better, but there's no clears. And to do the 16 to 17 taillight swap, I would have to get the bumper, a custom wiring harness, and I just don't want to do all that right now. At least right now. But anyway, so that's the inside and the exterior of the car. Let me show you guys the engine. Alrighty, so here is my engine bay. It's kind of a mess. I didn't get to clean it. But anyways, so here is my K24W1. It's got the RV6 catless downpipe, and it's got the Takeda short ram intake. I'm looking at switching it out. I don't really like it because it's a short ram. It's pulling in a ton of heat. So what I was saying about the piping and tuning and all that stuff, I have something that a lot of Accords don't. I don't have a throttle body spacer. I don't have any of that. I mean, it's kind of a spacer, but I switched to the MDX throttle body. It went from a 63 millimeter throttle body to an 80 to 70 millimeter inlet and outlet. So it went basically from a 2 1/4 inch to a 3-inch throttle body. I use the P2R P384 adapter for the V6 Accords. The stock V6 throttle body fits this engine. It's 100% plug and play. I didn't have to do the throttle body relearn process. Thank God. I thought I would, but I bolted the adapter to the intake manifold and the throttle body onto that, and I had to get a 3 to a 2.75 inch coupler to fit this intake. I am looking at selling this intake, so if you know anyone that wants one, or if you want one, I'm willing to let it go for about $250. They're on sale, I think, for $350, but I think it's a $500 intake. I don't want it anymore. It no longer fits me or my car, so if you want it, let me know. Yeah, so I'm looking at switching to a 3-inch to a 3.5-inch velocity stack that pulls either from the fog light or by moving the battery tray over a little bit and figuring out something like that. But yeah, so another thing I'm wanting to figure out is if the Civic Type R high pressure fuel pump fits and the injectors. They look very similar. They're very different, I'm sure, but they look very similar. So that's kind of the engine bay. Currently, yeah, it's basically just full bolt-on and tune. Again, I'm not tuned for the downpipe, but I'm not going to tune it until I port the intake manifold and I get the proper sized intake. The intake itself is a 2 3/4 inch intake, so it's kind of bottlenecking the 3-inch throttle body because small piping to a big butterfly valve. So it's like it's not running efficient. Like, if anything, the best way to describe it is if you want air to pass straight through the intake, this one's kind of rolling around once it hits that coupler. I want it to go straight through, so that's why I'm wanting to up the throttle body and piping and all that stuff. Another thing I could do is sell this throttle body and coupler and switch to the K-Tune 72mm drive-by-wire throttle body. That is also 100% plug and play. Everything that fits the J35 Y1 and Y2 for mod-wise, at least for induction, like throttle body and up, will fit this car. I think they have the same MAF sensor. So like any throttle body stuff you see for the V6 will fit this car, but if you have stock intake or aftermarket one, you will have to get the appropriate size coupler, so you have to do that. So yeah, so that's kind of the car. Now to cover the suspension stuff of the car, it's pretty much sitting on Tien lowering springs and stock shocks. I'm looking at switching this out for some Flex Z's. I just want to get rid of the body roll. There's still some body roll in the car. It's got the Progress Group 22mm rear sway bar and their adjustable end links. I highly recommend upgrading your rear sway bar if you are in a 9th gen Accord. There's a lot of body roll, and the sway bar eliminated a lot of it. I was able, for reference, there was this road that I used to cruise on in Mexico, and the speed limit around those corners was 25 miles an hour. Before the sway bar, I was able to hit them at 60. Now I can hit them at 80, 90, 100. The fastest I've hit it was 110. Now keep in mind that was in Mexico, so it's A-okay, no problems there. So anyways, I'm looking at switching out the 22mm sway bar for the 25.4mm and upgrading to the TLX. I think the front is a 26mm sway bar, so I'm gonna have to stiffen the rear a little bit. So I'll probably put the rear sway bar on the stiffest setting, and then probably adjust the end links so they're a little bit tighter, so it kind of puts more pressure on that sway bar. So that's kind of the car at the moment. Again, it's full bolt on. I'm getting it tuned. Some parts I'm selling, so if you know anyone that wants them, let me know. Yeah, that's it. I think whenever I port the intake manifold and get the intake set up, I'll do another video on this, and then I'll get it tuned. I hope to get on the dyno someday in the future, but I mean, with the current setup it's making right now, it's probably making 200, 205 horsepower. I'd be happy if it's making 210. I really doubt it though. Most cars you see on this engine platform that have the same bolt-ons I have make anywhere between 190 and 200. So the car is probably making around there, if I'm being honest, especially since it's untuned. But once I do the throttle body tuned, intake tuned, and port the intake manifold, I'm expecting to make hopefully 210, 215. Now, a couple things I want to do to the car. Now, as I said earlier, those are the only bolt-ons I have at the moment. The car itself, once I do all the intake stuff and port that, I'm going to get it tuned. What I want to do is I reached out to Brian Crowler, like Performance or whatever they're called, Brian Crowler or BC Cams on Instagram. I think that's their Instagram. I'll put up all the stuff in the description and on the screen. But I reached out to them, and they would do a custom cam regrind, and they sent me a form. I'll put an image up on the screen of that form. I'm looking for like kind of mid-range to high-end power, just because it is a higher revving engine than what I'm used to. So I'm looking at doing a custom cam regrind. That's going to cost about $500 to do the whole thing. And then valve springs, valves, port the head, and then fully build the bottom end, because the weakest link of this car technically is the transmission. The CVT is not made for torque. But I'm going to be within the threshold of, hey, it's still going to be reliable. You know what I mean? I think 250 foot-pounds of torque is kind of the limit of this car. My goal is to hit 235, 240-ish. I don't want to break this transmission. That's the last thing I want to do because it is technically still my daily driver. So obviously the cam, the bottom end will be rebuilt. I'm looking at doing some CNC pistons and just making sure the car is going to be nice and reliable for that 240 horsepower range. That's stock V6 numbers, I know. And a lot of people are going to say, just get a V6. I know. I really want the V6, but I like how lightweight the 4-cylinder is. And, you know, once I get the manual, if I do get the manual, which is the plan, my goal is to keep up with V6s and then potentially beat them. That would be the goal. I doubt it'll happen, especially NA. I have looked at supercharging the car, specifically a Roadtrek supercharger, or doing the Slick Flab turbo kit. I really like the craftsmanship that turbo kit has. It's basically a direct plug and play. Since I have the tuner and a tune, the K tuner, and also I know someone that can tune the car. The only thing that is limited on this platform is obviously the bottom end and the transmission. For power wise, I do know that the inline 4 has limitations on fueling. After about 315 horsepower, the fuel injectors are pretty much maxed out. So I really want K-Tuner to add a little bit more options for fueling. This car has high potential if you're willing to do that high potential work. And I don't hate this platform. I love this platform. It gives me a lot of options to kind of look around and see what I can do personally as a car enthusiast, but also to reach out to companies to make stuff for me because other people might want that stuff too. Specifically what I'm talking about is K-Tuner. I really want them to add more fueling support. I would like to switch to E85 if I were to boost the car, or E85 period, just because I would like to have that added knock protection. That would be really nice. Just different stuff like that. So if I ever come up with ideas and if I ever reach out to the companies to actually fulfill the order for the cams and the pistons and the valves and all that stuff, I'll definitely keep you guys up to date, and I'll document the entire journey from now on. I didn't really want to start a YouTube channel because I'm just some kid in college. I don't really have the time to do that, but I finished a class way ahead of time, so I have a little bit more free time this semester to do stuff. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll do my best to help out. I know this platform's old-ish and it's not really the quickest, but I want to be there. I want to exceed the limitations of this car. I will blow this engine one day, I'm sure. Yeah, so anyways, well, I'm going to leave off on that note. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll help out to the best of my ability. And yeah, everyone have a great day. See ya.